Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, recently did an interview, and he was talking about how they're struggling to scale batteries, how it's a much more difficult task to do than they initially thought. Then he was also talking about the sort of in-car operating system, which Tesla's completely crushed, and they're trying to catch up with that because they've got so many different suppliers, and then each bit of software, whether it's like the seat module or anything like that, is all coded in a different way. It can't all be linked up. Do you, both those things I just mentioned are two examples, but do you think it's just going to be so much harder for competition to catch up than people think? And then are you optimistic for competition catching up in the next few years, or do you think it maybe won't happen?
Yeah, and so one of my theses always on Tesla was everything Tesla's doing is so far ahead of the competition, and this is going to be way harder for these folks to accomplish. Let's be honest. A lot of these auto manufacturers put off EVs as a serious thing until really the past few years, and all of a sudden you heard all these announcements over the past 1 to 3 years from all these auto manufacturers. Oh, we're going to spend $10 billion, $20 billion, $30 billion, $50 billion on EV. And I think they're all realizing this is a lot harder than we thought it was going to be. And no one ever gave Tesla the credit for that. And you can't just throw money at something and think it's going to magically work out. You need the right engineers, you need the right culture, you need the right team, you need the right vision from the top that gets everybody inspired to go after that, right? And also, you're trying to beat a company that's already way ahead of you, which is a very tough thing to do. And so everybody's coming to that realization of like, dang, we should have been investing in this technology in a serious way 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when Tesla was. And when Tesla was being laughed at as this money furnace company that was burning all this money. And what are they doing over there? But this happens in business. I mean, you could say, why didn't Walmart become Amazon, right? I mean, Walmart, if we go back 20 years ago, Amazon, 20 years ago, 2003, Amazon was a complete joke compared to Walmart. You couldn't even compare those companies. It was almost laughable, right? And yet here Amazon came and they just ate Walmart's lunch. And now, Amazon's a company that's substantially larger, probably 3x to 5x the market cap, I would guess today, than a company like Walmart, which 20 years ago, once again, it was a joke. And Walmart should have beat them. But Walmart didn't invest the way Amazon invested in the warehouses, the network, e-commerce, and take it serious. And then Walmart tried to enter the game way late, and look what they get for it, right? And so that's the problem with all these auto manufacturers. But for the auto manufacturers, a lot worse. For auto manufacturers, a lot worse than it is for Walmart. At the end of the day, a lot of people are still going to go into Walmart. Internal combustion engine demand is just going to continue to go down rapidly over this next 5 to 10 years. And that's a huge issue for these guys because they're trying to get this new technology. And that's why I've always said, people have asked me for years, oh, why not buy Ford stock? Why not buy GM? It's trading at a PE of 5, 4, 6, whatever, right? Some disgusting. And at the end of the day, why would I want to take that risk, even at a PE of 5, when that company is being completely disrupted and they've got to change their technologies completely? They got to change the company culture, the way they do their business models, dealership networks, taking that out of the fold, supercharger networks, right? Which they're now trying to just, cling on to Tesla for these supercharger networks. Yeah, they're finding out, damn, we should have taken this serious 10 years ago, 15 years ago, because we would have been in a lot better spot. But now we're a little late to this game and we're finding out it's harder than we thought.
Yeah. And as you say, the legacy auto was late to the game. They didn't get Tesla, they didn't get the EV revolution. But also potentially some people that don't fully get it yet is institutional investors. There's still a relatively low level of institutional investment into Tesla. Do you think Wall Street gets Tesla yet? And if not, when will they? What's it going to take?
I think Wall Street gets the auto business of Tesla. I think there's a few things Wall Street doesn't quite get yet. I think it's the energy business, and trying to figure out what's the TAM there, what could that be. I think it's the autonomous taxi network opportunity, which honestly, in my opinion, Tesla shouldn't really get credit for that. You shouldn't get credit for a business you haven't even technically launched yet. So even in my opinion, I know some Tesla bulls will disagree with me on that. My opinion on that is don't give them credit for that yet, right? But they don't understand that opportunity, how big that opportunity is. And the other component I think Wall Street doesn't get yet, they will in a few years from now, but they don't yet, is a services opportunity. And they missed this when it came to Apple as well. Apple had this beautiful services business that you could tell was going to become in my opinion, the second most important business for Apple, only after the iPhone business. And sure enough, it became that, right? And so with Tesla, the services opportunity is massive. The supercharger network opportunity, finally, people are starting to wake up to this because of obviously the Ford and GM deal. Then you have Tesla auto insurance. You have premium connectivity in the cars, right? Things are going to break on cars over time. Tesla's going to have that sort of opportunity, right? Once cars are out of warranty and you have more and more on the road, batteries are going to need to be replaced. There's a million different things. And so the services opportunity in Tesla is so massive, and so many products that are going to be in that services category that we don't even see today that are going to come out over the next 3 years, 7 years, 10 years. And so I think there's a lot that they don't get yet around Tesla, but they're going to come around. They'll come around, and especially once the numbers start to hit. The only reason Tesla really had that huge ramp up in the stock price starting in 2019, going into 2020, 2021, right, was because they put the numbers up. Once Tesla keeps putting up these numbers, then it becomes undeniable, and Wall Street says, dang, you know what? We got to buy this baby. So.
And we've just had a pretty epic 13-day rally for Tesla stock, closing green every single day, day after day. Do you think when this penny drops, do you think it will be a penny drop moment for Wall Street, or do you think it's going to be slowly building their confidence? I'm sort of wondering if there's just going to be this moment where they all just start piling in because, they're just doesn't seem to be that intelligent sometimes, does it?
Well, good point. But Tesla has always been that stock, to be honest. It's always been that stock that made these incredible runs that makes the bears say, this is ridiculous bubble. This has to crash. This has to come down. What is going on, right? It's always been that stock. When you look at some of these moves the stock has made since it went public back in 2010 or 2011 when Tesla went public, right? And you look back to some of these moves the stock made in past years, they're shocking. And they're like, that stock went up hundreds of percent in a snap of fingers, 1,000% in a matter of, 2 years, and just mind blowing. But Tesla's that sort of stock. It's one of those stocks that, it's down and out for a bit, maybe a year, maybe 2 years. It's not doing anything. It seems dormant. And then it just goes on this crazy run. And obviously, coming off of 2014 all the way through basically the first half of 2019, that stock didn't go anywhere for 5-6 years. It went up, it went down, it went nowhere. And then it made this absolutely massive move. And so we could definitely be at a moment, if the economy stays decent, that we could be at in another moment right now that's making this epic move that people are just going to be shocked by. And other stocks are like that. It's not the only stock in the market. NVIDIA comes to mind, which is always obviously on top of everybody's mind. NVIDIA's so overvalued. It's a bubble. I hear them on TV. They've been saying that since it was 150. Then it was 200, 250, 300, 400 and plus now. And because the stock's going up so much doesn't mean always it's a bubble. It just means people are realizing it's a bigger opportunity than some folks realized before.